On this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Dead Space Anniversary Livestream. You can see the countdown over there in the corner. If you need to skip ahead because you're watching the past broadcast, just skip ahead by about 20 minutes. I did have Dead Space gameplay coverage on this channel. We covered the previous trailer, and I was super excited. I was defending the game, and I've gotten a lot of flack for my negative response to the trailer. I didn't feel like it looked like a next-gen only $70 remake. I'm hoping today can maybe sway me. People think I'm hating and being nasty. It's like, I was really looking forward to this, and I found that the first gameplay reveal to be lacking. I'm going to end the previous stream. We covered the Elden Ring DLC news. I'm going to end that stream and bring everybody over so that they can join us for this second talk show of the day. We did a very, very quick coverage of that, and we're going to bring all those folks over. If you like my coverage, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss these talk shows. I am a safe for work broadcaster. Make sure you smash the like button too if you're watching the past broadcast. We're just going to kind of chill, and I want to talk about why I was so disappointed with that Dead Space gameplay reveal. It wasn't about hate. It wasn't about... People think I'm clout chasing for similar reasons about another title that we'll be covering next week, and it's just one of those things where it's not about hate. It's literally, if you go watch the very, very first Dead Space gameplay reveal, I was defending the game in the intro. I was saying, I don't know. I think this game is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be potentially better than Callisto Protocol. And then I watched the trailer, and I saw some things that looked kind of funny. And I thought, well, sometimes when a premiere hits, a premiere can only go up to like 1080. So usually when a video premieres, you can set it to 1080. And then as soon as it's done, you can refresh the video and set it to 4K. So I thought, okay, let's set it to 4K after the 1080 version, played. YouTube compression sometimes makes stuff look pretty bad during a premiere and during live streams. Most people live stream at 1080. So 1080 is usually not the greatest. And then a lot of times quick movement will cause artifacting and different things in the broadcast. It'll look almost like fuzzy. If you remember like old school TVs with like the snow, it's almost like there's snow interlaced into the broadcast. So I felt like, okay, let me give it a shot. But the more we watched it and the more we looped it, I was just noticing so many problems. And people were getting on me about, well, it's a freeze frame. Of course it looks bad. No, it's a freeze frame of a perfectly clear rendered shot. Like you can see crystal clear the pieces and parts of the monster. Then I had people telling me, well, that's what dead skin looks like. Then I had people telling me it looks so much better than the original. So first and foremost, thank you, Zach Matson, for renewing your membership. Guys, remember, this is a second stream, so smash that like button. Let's get our first 100 likes out of the way. I know we hammer away on give us likes, but if you guys jump in new streams and always smash that button, we won't have to say anything because we'll always have a great like ratio. So let me address each of the responses to my Dead Space negative criticism. Let me respond to each one sort of in turn. First, people responded to my Dead Space video by saying it's a freeze frame. Yeah, it's a freeze frame, but it was a crystal clear freeze frame of a fully rendered scene. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. It was in gameplay, it was in movement, it was in action, but it wasn't fuzzy or blurry. So that wasn't a very good response. The second thing people said was, well, dead skin looks like that. I don't necessarily think my issue was with realism. My issue was with the low texture, the low res. If you looked at the guts, if you looked at the pieces and the parts of the body, it did not look next gen. It looked low texture. The third thing people said was, well, the game's not out yet. They have plenty of time to fix it. I really don't think you're going to debut a trailer that has 2 million views and put broken, busted, bad footage in it. You're going to put your best foot forward. I think what we saw is close to, if not the final product. And my issue is not that it looks bad. It looks bad for a $70 next-gen only remake. That's the issue. My issue is not that, oh, it doesn't look better than the original. No, of course it looks better than the original. The original's very old and looks miles apart from this. It looks great compared to the original. It looks like a very good PS4 game. It does not look like a $70 next-gen only remake. When you charge $70, when you leave behind old gen, when you call it a remake, I expect it to be at a higher level of graphical fidelity than what we have seen. That has essentially been my point, and many people don't understand it because it's a short 30-second clip of me talking about the skin looking plastic. Dwayne with a $10 tip. To be honest, they need to have new ideas instead of remake after remake. Remakes are getting old, in my opinion. Keep up the great work. I appreciate the $10 super chat, and I actually don't agree with you. I think remakes are wonderful. I think now is a great time to do remakes. It's really awesome to grab established, long-standing franchises and give them the treatment that they could never get in the past, right? Especially when they launched on like PS4 or Xbox One and they were ahead of their time and they struggled with frame rate or performance or fluidity. It's like, man, give that thing some love. Give it a nice update. Assumed Parasite with a renewal of a membership. Thanks for jumping back in. If you guys have previously been gifted a membership and you want to jump back in on your own, that makes room for others when gifted members go out. The more often you're here, the more likely you will get a gifted membership. So make sure you're always checking your homepage on YouTube, and if I'm not there, check your subscription feed so you can be here in the stream earning that loyalty, and you may get a gifted membership accordingly. What's a next-generation game? I have no idea at this point. Next-gen games should feature, obviously, high resolution. They should be striving for 4K or under 4K. They should at least be doing 1440. So the textures in the world and the environments should look very, very high-res. They should not look low-res. So at one level, that's the first thing folks are going to look for. The second thing folks are going to look for is 60 FPS. I think that's fair. Third thing folks are going to look for is lighting and texture details. They're going to want to see either ray tracing or cinematic lighting like they did in Horizon Forbidden West. The last thing they're going to look for is maybe gameplay enhancements. They want the gameplay to look better, run better, just be smoother in general. One of the foundational things I've continued to say about Gotham Knights is it looks like a mobile game, and people are like, what mobile games are you playing? Well, they're giving away the fact that they're not paying attention to the mobile gaming market. Go look at Marvel Future Revolution, and you will see animation movements and character animations and movesets that are very, very similar to what you see in that mobile game. Like, Gotham Knights looks exactly like it. Yeah, sound. Another thing people expect from next-gen games is better sound. They want that 3D audio. They want it to sound amazing. They want it to feel like a big uptick from the, sort of gritty, non-distinct, non-clear sounds of the past. Shagsworth says, I must be way old school because ray tracing just doesn't interest me. I know it looks good, but if games leave it out, that's fine with me. I generally don't care about ray tracing, Shagsworth, because it always makes me switch to 30 FPS. It's like ray tracing, 30 FPS, 4K, 30 FPS. I personally don't care about 4K or ray tracing, but when I see those things, you know what it tells me? They tried to make this thing look as awesome as possible. I'll opt for performance. And then I know I'm going to get a great experience. I did that in Forbidden West. It was like, they turned all this awesome stuff on. Same with Ratchet and Clank. It's like, that's great that you turned all that awesome stuff on. I'm going to go for performance, and I know I'm going to get a fantastic experience. The devs of Callisto Protocol had more freedom to make the game more hardcore and not hold back thanks to craft and publishing compared to the Dead Space remake. I think this gets lost in the shuffle of my coverage. I think the Dead Space remake looks good. I expect a $70 next-gen remake to look excellent. I don't think I've seen excellence from this game yet. We might see this today. Who knows? Maybe that trailer was using old build, old footage. I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would promote a big debut reveal of your official gameplay trailer. The Dead Space official gameplay trailer has 2 million views. I don't think you would get everybody's attention to be like, yeah, it's an old build, doesn't look that great, hopefully people like it. It's like, no, you're promoting a $70 next-gen remake, and I didn't see any signs of a next-gen remake. It literally looked like a PS4 game, a really good PS4 game. We've played games that look like this before, and we played them before this generation of console. That's not a knock, by the way. There's amazing games out there that you can play. What do you want to see today? I doubt the graphical fidelity will change much. I want to see uncut gameplay. That's what I want to see. Don't cut it up. Don't keep jumping from scene to scene to scene to scene so I can't really look at anything. That's the other thing I felt like the trailer did. It was constantly jumping. And this one guy reacts to my content. He's like, yeah, it's a trailer. And he kept calling me an idiot because I guess it's hard to interact with, actual intellectual dialogue. You just have to hurl insults. He just kept calling me an idiot. It's like, well, okay, I'll grant the premise that Dead Space official gameplay trailer doesn't need to have uncut gameplay, but at some point you need to show me uncut gameplay. Trailers, it's totally fine in a trailer to have jumps. I felt like there were a lot of jumps in the trailer, and then I started looking at the graphics and thought that's why they're doing all the jumps, okay? But where's the... I just want to see some uncut gameplay. It's time to see some uncut gameplay. I don't mind remakes or remasters, but to me it should be really old games, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast, and earlier. Literally dozens of dead IPs. It's ridiculous. Eternal Darkness for GameCube, for example. You know one of the dangers with that, Miguel, is I think people would agree with the spirit and the heart of what you're saying, but the money wouldn't be there. That would be the problem. Right? If you're going to spend money, investment, and time and a lot of work on a remake, there's got to be some brand pull. There's got to be some brand awareness. Guys, there's over 400 people here. We're waiting for the Dead Space Anniversary Livestream. I've been uttering why I was critical of the very first Dead Space gameplay trailer. Do me a favor and smash the like button. We have over 400 people here. If you commonly watch my content, hitting that like button should be a ritual by now. You should just come in and smash it. If you've never been here before, you can hit subscribe. That way you can talk to me in the chat and engage with me. If you think I'm full of crap, then let me know. I was extremely disappointed with the first reveal. It looks like they're going to do a 10-minute countdown. I don't know what just happened. It's black. Is there might be, let me refresh. There could be audio. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Let me see if there's audio. Let me turn off annotations. Let me turn that on. No, there's no audio coming through. Oh, wait, there we go. There we go. All right, let me get my cap card set properly. There we go. Okay. This is the countdown. Yo, CA Wix gifted another membership, and it goes to Kylock. If you guys want to get a little member gifted train going, pay it forward. If you got a gifted member in the past or one today, consider gifting more members and just pay that train forward. We love to see that. We need 50 more likes on the video. There's so many people here not pressing the like button. Y'all got to do that. We do a live interactive talk show like this Monday through Friday. I am usually in this scene. So if you like that kind of content and you want to interact with me, you want to disagree with me, hit subscribe and chime in the chat. We enjoy disagreement. We enjoy dialogue and discussion. We don't enjoy people insulting each other. That's not something that we do here. We're seeing a Dead Space. It's a countdown to the countdown. Lono is always full of crap. That's why we love him. That's right. No, this is not a countdown to the countdown. This is actually the video premiering. They put this at the front end of the video. They did. I respect people saying that they won't buy the remake, but devs can use money from the sales of the remake to funnel it back into a new game, therefore giving a higher quality new game. Love the shirt. Thank you. If you like my shirt, comes from one of our sponsors. Always remember to support our sponsors, 80stees.com, and use code LONO to save 30% over there. They're doing a Splinter Cell remake. Yes, they are. The Resident Evil 4 remake is going to show what a remake should be, says Eugene. Do you remember Siphon Filter or Splinter Cell? Yeah, I remember Splinter Cell. I didn't do much with Siphon Filter, but I remember the game. Kratos says, I think the $70 price point for remakes is way off. DLC price at most, unless they completely rebuild the game. Right, that's what I'm saying, Kratos. When you call your game a remake and you leave behind next gen and you charge $70, I think it's totally fair to expect top-level excellence from the graphics. I shouldn't be seeing low-res textures. I shouldn't be seeing glitchy animations. That shouldn't be present. It should be immaculate at that level. I'm not being picky. I'm not being some entitled gamer Karen. You're the one that decided to remake it. Well, if you're going to remake it, remake it. And if it's going to be cross-generationally supported and not truly next-gen, that's totally fine. I would have been okay with that. Then don't make it next-gen only. Don't charge $70 for it, and I won't have those expectations. I didn't put my expectations on the top shelf. You did when you put your product there. I didn't set my expectations too high for the Dead Space remake. They did when they put the game on the top shelf. When you say we're going to remake a game and we're going to put it on next gen only and we're going to charge $70 for it, you have put your game on the top shelf. I'm well within my right to expect top shelf graphics and performance, and I haven't seen that yet. I've seen a very good game, but I have not seen an excellent $70 next gen only remake. I haven't seen that. Who do you think is going to play Sam Fisher in the Splinter Cell remake? I have no idea. 540 people here, and we can't get 200 likes. You drive-by viewers, man. Log in, press like, get committed, hit subscribe, join the conversation. Come on. Come on. What is happening? We run a really great show here. There's a lot of names in chat that I recognize. You gotta help me out. What is the deal here? I think it's 60. No, it's $70. That's my issue. My issue since the debut of the trailer is it's a $70 next-gen only remake. Everybody wants to get up my nose about being a hater, and that's what skin looks like, and you're just doing a freeze frame. Brother, I froze so many frames of The Last of Us Part 1 trailer and gameplay reveals and didn't find any evidence of low-res texture. I didn't find any evidence of glitchy animations. It looked like a $70 next-gen remake. I wasn't happy about the price, but I thought, dadgummit, they've poured a lot into this. I froze 2 or 3 different frames of Dead Space gameplay and was like, what the frick is this? It was like a PlayStation 4 game, which is great for fans of the franchise. That's a big uptick, but that's not a $70 next-gen game. Yo, Evan Frowley with 5 gifted members wants to pay it forward and keep the member train going. Leech Spartan gets one. Donkey Sausage is here all the time. So is Bernard and Point by Point. All of them are not gone. That's only... Oh, no, all 5 are gone. I'm sorry. I didn't see Primary. Primary got one. Now, some people push back on my criticism and they said, you're ignoring all of the great things that they're adding to the game. There's all these great features and mechanics. Listen, that's great. That justifies calling it a remake. If you're going to try to make the argument that like they poured a lot into this game, fantastic. You're arguing in favor of calling it a remake instead of a remaster, and I agree with you. I'm on your side. I think many people look at remakes and they want to be nasty, but like, it's just a remaster. No, this is a genuine remake. Okay? They remade the game. There's new features. There's new mechanics. Huge thumbs up from me for that. But as soon as I see the headline that it's next gen only and it's $70, you have now put yourself on the top shelf among greatness, and I've not seen greatness. I've seen good stuff. It's just good. It's $60 cross-gen good, right? Stop asking for likes. Just let people do whatever they want. No, I think I'll run my show in live in my environment the way that I want. Live shows live and die off of live feedback. I can't have people coming in and sitting back lounge. You want free daily awesome live shows every day? Then do the free things. Click the like button. Say good morning, right? Do the things. It doesn't cost anything to do that. I don't run advertisements. I don't disrupt the stream by clicking ads. You know, the least viewers can do is smack the like button. Hit subscribe. Join the conversation, right? A lot of videos you're going to watch on YouTube, you're going to get hit with multiple ads at a time. I don't do that. You get in here, you get into the action, and I don't disrupt the broadcast with ads. I'm worried they're going to lose the magic of the original gameplay. Adding too many new things will take away from the engaging story. I don't think I agree with that, though. I mean, I guess it's just a concern. It's not necessarily agreement. I don't share your worry, right? I don't share your worry. Because I actually, from everything I've seen, this looks like a very, very faithful treatment of Dead Space, right? People forget to hit like a lot. It's good to have a remember every now and then. Yeah, it's very common. I'll have so many people like, oh my gosh, I forgot to hit like, and then all of a sudden we get like 100 likes. So yeah. The original was so chilling and genuinely scary. The magic is gone as soon as he starts talking to everyone, which he does now. Oh, the main character? Did he not talk in the first game? I forgot constantly, and I do my own videos, understand? Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to being convinced to buy this at 50 instead of 30, says Eugene. How do you put the Division on the back shelf? I'm not sure what you're asking me, Dubsta. I mean, the basic summary of my position is this. There are $70 next-gen only games on the market right now. If you don't hit their level of appearance and performance, then don't charge $70 and don't make yourself next-gen only. I'm looking at Dead Space Remake and I'm looking at Gotham Knights. Why are you next-gen only for $70? I don't see any evidence that that's where you should be. I don't. I see a really solid car trying to get on the lot with the Ferraris and the Porsches. Like, what are you doing? Get out of here. You don't belong over here. Don't promote your own channel. How dare you? Oh, come on. Shagsworth is a bro. Chill. He's not some Randy. I've interacted with the guy. I've known him for a long time. I don't know if we ever met in real life, but he's a long time homie. Sound work is going to play a big part in the Dead Space remake. Atmosphere is far better than mechanics. Oh, you were being sarcastic. I was like, man, chill, bro, chill. All right, let me pause my music. Let me give you theirs. All right, I'll make myself smaller. Hey, guys, do me a favor. If you're here right now and you enjoy breakdowns, real quick commercial. We got 20 seconds. We're usually in this scene doing an interactive talk show. We already did an Elden Ring talk show this morning. Hit subscribe and hit like if you haven't already. We will break down this trailer after it's over. I'll loop it. We'll come over it. Okay, that's what we do here. So don't leave as soon as the trailer's over. While we're waiting, hit the like button as well. It's going to be loud. This is not a live stream, by the way.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellyan responding to your distress call.
Isaac?
Okay, so maybe it is a live stream. This is the trailer we've already seen.
What have you got, Isaac?
They're putting it at the beginning.
Ishimura's in the red. Engines, hull, the trams.
Can you handle it alone?
Fix the centrifuge. Get the fuel running.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
Humanity will be made whole, Mr. Clark. With or without you.
Isaac, it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
Nicole?
Okay, so they're likely showing the same trailer because they're getting ready to do something else. They usually do that with live streams. Yeah, here we go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this fourth dev stream for Dead Space. On this very day, 14 years ago, was the release of the first Dead Space. And what better way to celebrate this than with a deep dive into the remake of this fantastic game. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Philip, and once again, I'm joined by Raman, our creative director.
Hello, everyone.
And with us, back from our first live stream, back in a year ago, we have Jackie and Khalif. Thank you for being with us today for this stream.
It's nice to finally be in person.
Definitely is. What did you think of the trailer?
I mean, it's so cool to see how far everything has come from, you know, us seeing things really, really early and now getting to see, you know, an almost finished game like this. It's just so awesome to see all of it start to come together in this bigger way. So really, really excited, yeah.
Yeah, I'm blown away from going from playtest to finally seeing everything actually come together as well. It just brings up the nostalgia and the new game, and I'm very, very excited.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, as I said at the start, this is our second live stream with Jackie and Khalif. And in the first one that we did end of August last year, we talked about the approach that we took for the remake and shown work in progress asset to illustrate our intentions. We followed this up with a second live stream in March with our audio director, Olivier Asselin, to explain our approach on audio that plays such an important part in the game. In the last live stream that we did in May with Mike Yazijan, our art director, it allowed us to go into the details of how the team is recreating the Ishimura for Gen 5.
What did you guys learn exactly from doing those past live streams?
So it was really interesting to be able to share work in progress or early assets with the community and get early feedback. Like, we got a lot of really good feedback from you, from everybody in the community, but also getting feedback, like, for example, on the audio of the guns or how the Ishimura did not look maybe dirty enough or those kind of things. It was really interesting for us to continue to add and polish the assets we were building for the real game.
Yeah, that transparency is something we haven't had a chance to see a lot often in the gaming industry so far. So it was really nice to bring the community in and get feedback, not only with the player council, but with also like people on Reddit and whatnot.
Yeah. Alongside all those folks kind of giving you that feedback in real time, just how was the buzz around it? Because I know a lot of folks are really excited for this coming back and now kind of getting more information and more visuals of seeing what's happening. How did that kind of play into all of that, kind of building up some more hype for it?
Well, for sure, for us, it's a way to get the pulse.
Yeah.
Like what we're making, is it something that's exciting players? And for devs, like every time that we were doing a stream, everyone was looking at the boards and any type of social media trying to follow, like, okay, well, what are people saying? What are the issues? What are the things that they appreciate? So it's exciting to be able to have that feedback much sooner than we usually are, and also not with all buttoned-up assets that are more marketing-y, and that sometimes won't necessarily represent all the effort that the team is having and putting together to explain what are we trying to achieve. So I think the way it was done for us, it allowed to show the behind the scenes a little bit more, and show all the passion and love that the team has for the game that we're making.
Because like everybody in the team, starting with us, and like, yeah, everybody at Motive or working with us, we're all big fan of Dead Space. And really doing those live streams, having that open discussion, it really helps us to make sure that we are being true to the original. That not only we are remaking Dead Space and remaking it with the eyes of us as fans, but that's also something true for other people outside of the team that are also fans of the original game. And that was something really important for us. And I hope it shows in what we are showing today.
It's very apparent. I feel like I learned that very early on in the player council sessions, that you guys do care and you were responsive to critical comments that we had. And it's coming from a place of obviously love and passion for the game, which is nice.
Yeah, and it feels like you're bringing all of us back in and closer to development, which is a thing I'm sure is very scary for all of you as well, doing that work and kind of opening up the doors.
I feel like their consistent theme here is they keep talking about how they got a lot of critical feedback. So I'm interested in what they're going to show.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
Definitely do. So we have many things to show today. So we actually want to start with a gameplay extended trailer that we're going to look at. In this extended trailer, we'll have Isaac that's going to be walking through the engineering deck. And his mission is to repair the engines. And to be doing that and to be fixing something that completely went haywire. We'll showcase a lot of the novelties that we brought to the game. But Roman, to kick things off, why don't you walk us through the different priorities that we set very early on the project and that have acted as guiding lights for the production?
Yes, Phil, but before doing that, I want us to quickly go back to the original Dead Space and just walk you through what we think were some elements that were really unique to that experience and that we really want to recreate and pay really justice to in the remake of the game. And the first one, really unprecedented immersion. Dead Space redefined immersion convention in gaming. No HUD, very few cutscenes, everything geared toward having players at the edge of their seats from start to finish, never letting go of the controller. Iconic setting, inspired by Alien, Event Horizon, and The Things, Dead Space brought a classic survival sci-fi setting never seen before in game, with this level of quality. Of course, the gameplay, strategic action, shooting monsters in the face was no longer enough. Having players think under pressure to survive with satisfying dismemberment mechanics was seen as one of the most unique gameplay takes for the genre's history. Fast forward to today, and Dead Space is back to its roots and better than ever. The first thing we did was to clarify our design goal, defining what it meant to create a true remake for Dead Space. Those 4 design priorities are true to the original, horror, unbroken immersion, and creative gameplay.
All right, a great way to set the table for what's next. So, like I said at the beginning, we have a pre-recorded video of a walkthrough of some of the section of Chapter 3, Inside Engineering. And it's the first time that we'll air this, and it's a first look at an extended version of Chapter 3, so quite exciting. Let's have a look.
Gosh, there's so much sound pollution.
Hi, my name is Philippe Ducharme, senior producer on Dead Space. Today, I'm here to give you a first look at one of my favorite sections in the game. So we find ourselves here in the Ishimura's hangar at the beginning of Chapter 3. We're going to make our way towards the control room in engineering, where we'll attempt to restart the ship's engine. For those of you who remember the original, the hangar was much smaller than it is now. We get to explore this location and literally fly through it before heading to our destination. Navigating between chapters without load screens or having a camera cutaway is part of how we've reimagined the Ishimura for the remake. We don't need to rely on the tram as the sole way to get between chapters. It is now a seamless, interconnected ship.
Watch the animations on the character. He's like pivoting really stiffly. Like there's not a lot of fluidity.
Entering vacuum.
We've got 2 lurkers here. You can quickly get rid of them with the pulse rifle or Isaac's trusty plasma cutter. There aren't many traditional firearms on board. To survive, you may have to improvise and choose how to take each necromorph down. We're now entering the ship. We have a lot to show you, so let's skip ahead to Chapter 3.
All right, listen, graphically, I love the way the character looks. He's moving so stiff. He's like pivoting between predetermined animation points. It doesn't seem fluid. It doesn't... I think it's probably just the engine. It's the old game is still underneath here with respect to his movement and the way he was shooting and stuff. That didn't look very smooth. It looked very clunky.
Track, or simply wanted to explore the ship further, you may encounter a completely different experience. Different enemies, the ambience and lighting may change. This is what we call the intensity director. It keeps the Ishimura unpredictable and brings some additional tension and challenge.
Now this looks fantastic. The way they're using the lighting in the dark looks awesome. It looks so good, like so horror-esque.
The way to the refueling station is just a little further ahead. As you can see, some memorable moments are authentic to the original. We've added tons of graphical enhancement that support strategic dismemberment. Using kinesis, we'll bring that gondola over and make our way to the south refueling station. We need to gain access to the fuel management office, which contains the power functions for the refueling station. We can follow that cable to find our way there. One of the things we tried to achieve was to add more context to the various objectives, to expand on what was there, and bring a bit more detail.
The lighting is so good. Like, the lighting is the best part. It creates this dynamic sense of realism. It's dark. It's dark and bright in varying degrees. It looks really, really good. The lighting's probably the best part of this.
The refueling station has no power. We can look for a way to access the fuel management office. This card should allow us in, and we can now make our way back.
Isaac. Hammond.
Daniels? You made it.
Thank God. After the bridge, we thought...
Glad to disappoint. I barricaded myself in the computer core. I can hear them, but I don't think they know I'm here. Isaac, I tracked down your rig. You're in engineering, right? I'll get myself admin privileges. Maybe I can help.
Now that we have access to this room, we're faced with a very tough choice. We could cut power to life support and rely on air canisters for oxygen, but today we'll play a section without lights instead.
It's definitely faithful. It's definitely faithful to the Dead Space franchise. Like, these sections look really, really good. The soundtrack's fantastic. I have yet to see anything that looks like a $70 next gen remake. It looks like a very solid remake that I could have played on my PS4.
Contamination room. Using new tech, we've cranked up the tension. Dynamic smoke creates that thick and opaque atmosphere that makes you lose track of the lurkers, even when they're right next to you.
Yeah, he's saying dynamic smoke, but it looks like a bunch of prefab 2D sprite animations. Everything looks flat. That smoke and stuff doesn't look good. And there's so much sound pollution. Do you hear the sound? It's like the sound's glitching on itself.
Feeling of being locked in with a pack of necromorphs.
Do you hear that? It's like the sound is shaking because there's too much of it. It's like... It didn't sound like water or rain.
It's offline, and the Ishimura is getting dragged down to the planet below.
Please attach generator modules.
We've added so much detail in here. Particle effects, lighting, floating debris. We wanted this room to be imposing and tell a story at the same time. It's a lot more impressive, and its size makes it harder to keep track of the incoming necromorphs. So audio plays a huge role here in identifying the direction of threats. With one of the generator modules back in place, we can head to the second one. Flying in zero-G and not being anchored to the surface makes spatial awareness extremely important. Combat encounters can quickly become deadly, especially with leapers. And now, with the generator modules powered up, the centrifuge is ready to be activated.
Generator module attached. Clutch engaged.
Wilbur says, you know the game isn't out, right? Not fair to judge it 4 months from being fully polished. Homie, they're not showing us an old, unpolished build. This is what the game's going to look like when it launches. I mean, how much do you think they're going to be able to do in 4 months?
That was nuts.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
That was wild.
From the hangar to decontamination to centrifuge to the interconnected gameplay to the intensity director, the list goes on. The first thought after seeing that is, why the fuck am I using the tram? The answer is replayability. Now we can go back and play multiple playthroughs with different options. You have more exploration. It was amazing. It's incredible.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the intensity director, because I think for a game like this where folks are coming back to this kind of content, one of the things that people talk about a lot is like, well, what's going to be different in the playthrough that I'm going to have when I go in and go back into a game like this? Talk a little bit about the intensity director and how that's going to change the way folks are going to be coming to this new version of a game that they might have played before.
It was important for us to have something, like to have the right balance between what's scripted in the game and what keeps the players on its toes. We've obviously, and we've seen it in the trailer, we've kept a lot of things scripted. Like we have to have those precise jump scares at certain moments, and it's important to have the highs and lows in the intensity of the gameplay.
Yo, thank you, Geek to Sneak, for ordering a bag of light roast. Reforge Roast Coffee, you the best.
So throughout the entire ship, we needed something to be able to fill those sections of gameplay and make sure that there was things that were surprising the player so that the tension could go back up. And so for us, that was important to find that right balance and to figure out a way to keep the player on the edge when re-exploring and walking around the ship.
And so the thing is, that balance, there's multiple elements that comes in it. Like, so yes, there is the scripted golden path moments, and those ones, every time you're going to play them, they're going to play exactly the same. They're going to play once, and that's it. But even in those, sometimes there might be a twist. Like, you might expect slasher coming from that vent, and it's not going to be there, or those kind of things. But they're going to play mostly the same every time you replay them, if it's a new walkthrough or whatever. And then we have varying degrees of systemic events. Like, if it can be just fights, can be messing with the lights, messing with the sounds. There's different events that we can play with, depending if you're just moving from a fight to another, or if you're revisiting a whole section of the ship. It's not going to be the same. Basically, the way we treat that is we have an intensity curve, and all the events in the game are tracked with their level of intensity. And so that allows us to know, like, okay, the player had already a couple of really intense fights. Maybe we're not gonna throw him another huge fight with tons of enemies and stuff. Here in the next corridor, we're just gonna play a little bit with the lights that are going to blink and some creepy whispers in your ears, and that's it. Or that place, we really want you to feel safe. And so, yeah, even the light's going to be okay, no more creepy whispers, whatever.
Yeah.
But that vent, there's going to be something weird about that vent. And if you get close to it, actually, maybe a slasher is going to spawn and make you jump. And all those things will be handled by the intensity director.
And I know you also talked about this, pre-stream and pre-conversation was, even the slashers are going to be a little bit different when you see one as opposed to the other. Talk a little bit about that, because I thought that was super cool too.
Yeah, so that's something in the original, like all the slasher, they already had some kind of job when they were humans aboard the ship, like depending on which bridge you were like seeing medical miners or medical guys or whatever. So that's something we definitely kept from the original. But riffing on that, we wanted to add a bit, even more personality to the slashers, and makes you really, like, every time you're gonna shoot a slasher, we would like you to feel like it's a different guy. And so on top of giving them jobs and different clothes and stuff like that, we also gave them ethnicity, because the Ishimura, it's really has a diverse crew. And we wanted that to also show on the slasher. So now it really feels every time it's a new guy, and you can really believe now playing the game. We're trying to reinforce the immersion around that. Like, yeah, those monsters, they used to be the crew.
So should we feel sorry now for the slashers that we take out now?
Slaughtering.
We're like, oh, that person was the cook on the ship. You gotta go.
Exactly.
You gotta get out of here.
Can you cook the guy?
I'm good. I have friends who can't, but we're not gonna talk about that during this stream. But yeah, a lot of conversations about that for sure.
I think we should talk also about audio. Audio is obviously the massive staple. It's what drew me in initially to Dead Space and really kept me, that whole intrigue. in this trailer, in Decontamination, for example, we have the increased fog, like the dynamic fog, that you can't necessarily always see where enemies are coming from, which is really interesting because of its more audio, and you have to really listen to what you're looking for. And we see that again in the centrifuge, which, by the way, is fucking massive. It's huge. I love how you're showing the original game, because you recall like these different areas and you imagine these huge environments, but now looking at what the remake is.
Like, I know I'm going to sound like Mr. Rogers or like a nun or something, but have some respect for your viewing audience. Like, that's just so unprofessional to be like, effing this, effing that, effity FF. This isn't a freaking Quentin Tarantino movie, lady. Like, you're not hip because you know the F word.
Have these very, very large rooms now that are extremely built out, grittied down, very gritty looking and dark and immersive, but you don't know where ads are necessarily coming from because of the intensity director. It's not just the same vent every single time, which is great because then you have to utilize your audio and really listen for where ads are coming out. I love that aspect, and I like Decontamination. It's much scarier in my opinion now. There's a lot to like.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you touched on a lot of points that were points of interest for us. So audio, that we had, like I said, Olivier that went in and explained how we're trying to recreate in one of the past streams. And it is something that was such groundbreaking, I think, in the initial game. It was so well done. But the addition of the occlusion and making sure that we understand where is the sound traveling from when you're navigating.
Like, I know it's a mature game, but this is a broadcast. Like, it's a professional setting. Like, nobody else is talking like that. You know what I mean? It just feels so out of place. It doesn't even fit. It feels so ham-fisted into her vocabulary. It doesn't feel natural.
Sequences, but also the intensity director, like Aman said, there's a lot of events that are either foreshadowing events that may lead to something or not, or post-shadowing, like if the enemy decides to jump through a vent and walk away and run away, you'll hear that enemy travel within the world. So
or if he's trying to actually run away after you because you ran away, you saw him and you were like, no, fuck it, I'm out. And you switch room and you're gonna hear him go through the vent, crawl in the walls, and come back from another.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it plays such an important part, and with the music, with the sound effects of the guns and everything, and we're getting to a place where it feels good. It feels right when you're listening, the right tune, the right mix. It's always something that we do until the very end, the mix of every sound element. But the team's done an amazing job, and it's great.
Yeah. Real quick, I got to talk about Isaac having a voice in this too, which I think is really, really interesting. A lot of folks are going to be excited to see how that's going to play out in the game too. Talk about how important it was to add that layer to this game too.
So yeah, definitely early on, that was a huge deal. The discussion around Isaac voice, like in one of our first console, we spoke about that, and at first
I'm still mad that I wasn't the voice of Isaac. I'm still salty about that. I didn't get that role.
Necessarily convinced, right?
I raised my hand a lot.
Are you sure, guys? So our thought about that was like, so yes, we're making Dead Space, but who's Isaac? Who's that guy? And thinking about Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3, for us, Isaac Clarke, it's Gunnar Wright. It's the actor that's playing Isaac in Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3 that give his voice to Isaac in Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. To the point of which in the team we call him Gunnar Clarke. It's really is the guy. And so going back to Dead Space, there were elements that we wanted to enhance in terms of narrative, and one of those was Isaac as a character. Why is he coming to the Ishimura? What's his relation with the other characters around? And also give him a bit more agency, to have him a little bit more passive, like when you enter an area and you get Hammond or Kendra telling you everything you exactly have to, and what? You're supposed to be the engineer. Like, that's your role. Like, you're supposed to be the guy that knows how to actually make those stuff and get out of that alive. So for all those reasons, early on we started to think about, okay, we should go back to Gunnar Wright. Now that guy, the Isaac also in Dead Space 1. And we should give him a voice. And now that's allowed us to unlock all those different elements around giving him a bit more personality and agency in what he's doing and stuff. But the one issue, of course, was with horror, because isolation is a huge element of the horror in Dead Space. And it's that element like when you're in the dark and you have to go in the basement and you're looking for the lights. Know what I'm talking about, Califrax? No? And you don't find the fucking lights and you start to talk to yourself because it reassures you.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something we didn't want it for Dead Space. We didn't want Isaac to start to talk when he's alone, because that would break a little bit the horror element. And so we have that one rule that is almost true across the game. We maybe break it once or twice, not more, which is Isaac only talks when he's being talked to. He only answers. Like you get to medical, you see the barricade, Hammond starts to talk to you, and Isaac will answer and say, yeah, that's the fucking barricade, I have to blow it. And it's Isaac that's going to come with the plan of what to use and where to find those things to blow the barricade. But then, once that communication is done, and you're alone in medical, and he's not gonna comment what he sees, and he's gonna shut the fuck up. And that's something that's really important for us, and I think it really improves the immersion, because also it gives reactions to Isaac to elements that were feeling weird if he was not reacting to, or if he had no emotion about what's happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited to see that come to life, because I know when I am scared, I do really, really dumb things. I talk to myself, I beatbox. So Isaac, we hopefully will beatbox in when he's scared. So we'll see how that works. Cool.
You'll hear him grunt, and like throughout the exhaustion, and when he's tired, you're gonna hear him paying when he's hurt and everything through the Eli system. Yeah. But no, he's not gonna mumble to himself like you do.
Okay. Good on him, for sure.
Okay, well, it wouldn't be a celebration without showing some more awesome stuff for the Dead Space fan. I'd like to introduce our friends at Limited Run Games. Alina, Jared, great to have you both join us.
Do you love Dead Space? Of course you do. I'm Jared from Limited Run Games, and I love Dead Space too. And I'm not the only one here who does. For example, to my right, your left, my friend.
Alina. Hi, I'm Alina from Limited Run Games, and we are super excited to show you what we have for Dead Space fans.
You told us you wanted a Dead Space Collector's Edition, and we listened. And you said what you wanted, most of all, was this, the Isaac helmet. And holy crap, it happened. Isn't this amazing? And we're going to get to it in just a minute. Yes, it's the most exciting part, but there's also some really great other stuff in this Collector's Edition we want to show you. And for more on that, Alina!
So we're super excited to talk about the components of this Dead Space Collector's Edition. There's so many awesome things I could start with. So we've got a 4-inch premium marker statuette. It's beautiful, it's gonna be heavy, and we can't wait for you guys to put it on your desk. We also have a steelbook included, which has the Dead Space logo and Isaac's silhouette on the back.
Okay, totally interrupting here, but I want the embroidered Ishimura 3-inch patch. I want to stick it on something, I don't know, my jacket, my hoodie here, my forehead. I don't know, where are you going to put it?
I don't know. You could put it on anything. Maybe a backpack.
A dog?
A dog.
A pig?
A
dinosaur?
pig too, yes.
Pizza?
Yes.
Don't eat it.
But it might taste good.
Yeah, getting back to this, apparently we also have a lithograph of some sort?
Yeah, we do. We also have a lithograph print encased in a bifolding portfolio. It also has foil stamped logos on the front of it. It's gonna be awesome.
I wanna get my hands in this marker enamel pin. You can stick it in your Crocs, in your bulletin board, in your wall. You can stick it anywhere you want to.
And a soundtrack and 4 mini posters.
And now, what you really came here for, that's right, the Isaac helmet. Look at this thing of beauty. It lights up. It's big. It's hefty. And it's absolutely enormous. Not only is it big and hefty and enormous, it's also adjustable. Now, I have a truly colossal noggin, like a big old fat head. And this thing, watch this, goes right on it. That's right. Alina, is this an improvement?
I think it looks very good.
You do? Well, you know what? I mean, okay, so once again, it's adjustable, so it'll fit any size head or almost any size head. My head, probably your head, definitely Alina's head, but you're not going to put it on.
My hair. So yeah, there's a lot of love and passion that went into the creation of this helmet. It's based on in-game sculpts. Our team worked directly with the character artist to get the paint, shape, and feel just right.
You can feel the love that went into every texture of this helmet. Folks, this is a spectacular collectible. I really, really hope you're going to enjoy it. We're happy to offer it. Alina, tell folks where they can get it today.
You can pre-order the Dead Space Collector's Edition for a limited time on limitedrungames.com. You can get it for PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC.
Friends, this is one spooky piece of headgear. We hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Alina, Jared, everyone at Limited Run Games. This looks great. Thank you for putting this together. What are your thoughts?
My eyeballs immediately gravitate towards the LED helmet.
I'm more looking at the marker. I love small things you can put on your desk and kind of show your fandom and nerddom in that way. And weirdly, I like the propaganda poster stuff, like, you know, kind of getting a chance to see like inside the world of the game and those kinds of
Thank you, Peepo, for the $5. He says, hey, lurkers, hit the like button. Insomniac Black with the $2.
Yeah.
Guys, smash the like button. We did not get very good treatment today on this.
Also, following some of the streams, we saw the comments from fans that like they've liked the shorts that we had, the hoodies that we shown at the different live streams, and they were asking where they could get it. So like we're happy that working with different teams internally, we actually were able to spin out a shop that's going to be coming soon. So you're going to be able to get the shirts like mine, like Roman's, and other
prototype, but there will be multiple shirts, hoodies, stuff like that. So keep on the lookout for the store coming soon, right?
Yeah.
All right. Time to wrap this up.
Huge shout out to our team at Motive and all of the collaborators that have helped us bring this remake to you all.
And a big, big, big thank you to everyone working on that project, whether it's at Motive or all of our partners, but also to everybody in the Community Council. Thank you very much for all your feedback, for helping us make that remake a true Dead Space experience. And to everybody in the larger community that tuned in during our live stream, that gave us feedback, that also helped us shape that remake. Thank you very much.
We're lucky to have the Community Council that's with us today for the Anniversary Livestream. So thank you all for your presence. Your feedback has been very useful all throughout production. So being with us since conception, it's been great. Thank you. If you like what you've seen today and are excited about the return of Dead Space on PC and next-gen consoles, the game is available for pre-order. Or you can mark your calendar for January 27th, 2023. We're eagerly looking forward to that date. Be sure to follow our different social channels to stay up to date on all the Dead Space related information so you don't miss anything leading up to our launch. Jackie, Khalif, thank you for being with us today. Excited to play some more of the game?
I mean, it is time now for us to stomp out some Necromorphs. I'm excited for that.
Bets on SG drops an F-bomb. Bets.
That you put in, so it's time. It's time to get it on.
I'm really hyped for launch. Ready, it's about time.
Oh yeah. Roman, comme toujours, un plaisir.
She held back.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the stream today and looking forward to showing more of the game to you all.
Warning, contains flashing images and obscenely loud. Yeah, here we go. Let's watch it again.
This is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kelly
All right.
responding to your distress call.
I'm putting my music on. I don't want to listen to this again. Oh my gosh, chat. We're gonna look at what they showed us. Because there's still, I don't get the people that are like, oh, the game's not out yet. Like, I don't understand that outlook. They showed us stuff today that looked maybe even worse than what we had already observed. The audio in that decontamination room was freaking terrible. It was so bad. It was like waving. It was like, it's like, what's happening? Similar things happen in Outriders. It's called noise pollution. You have too many sounds coming through and you haven't properly done your work. Like, I'm not an audio engineer, but I've played plenty of games with lots of sound in them, and they don't always sound like someone's dragging a trash can up the driveway. Like, what the frick is going on? It didn't sound good at all. Like, the guns sound pretty good, and the monsters sound pretty good, and the soundtrack had good parts. Like, there was this part with, like, violin. But then when he was in that decontamination room, I'm like, it sounds awful. It's literally noise pollution. It's like all the audio is crunching in on itself. And then he called it dynamic fog. I was like, that's not dynamic fog. It's a looping fog animation that looks flat and two-dimensional. It doesn't look good. You could see the audio and how it was done in this game, guns have like 15 layers of sound each. Oh, you should see the audio and how it's done. Oh, right. Yeah, the guns sound fine, but I don't know. That decontamination room sounded friggin' terrible. I thought it looked good. Nothing looks bad. Everything looks passable. It doesn't... I'm telling you, if this was a cross-gen remake for $60, a lot of what I'm saying, I wouldn't be saying. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. If this, we're gonna loop. I gotta figure out how to show you what they showed us. All right. Let me see if they uploaded it as a separate upload. Listen, if this was a $60, yeah, here it is. Yeah, I got it. They already uploaded it. If this is a $60 cross-gen thing, I wouldn't be saying most of what I'm saying. I wouldn't. I would not be saying most of what I'm saying. I'd be saying, oh yeah, that's a pretty good looking remake. But it's $70 and it's next gen only. And there's tons of things in this footage that just don't look good. So we're watching it at 4K. It always looks a little bit better because during a premiere and a live stream, it's usually maxed out at 1080, right? So right here, I think showcases one of the strongest things in the game. This is the strongest element of the remake. It's the lighting, right? The lighting looks fantastic. It creates this true sense of there's shadows and things I can't see. There are lights. There's like pin lights on different spots. It looks awesome. Now, the fog, however, looks bad. That literally looks like a flat two-dimensional layer that they have just like laid over top of the light. That doesn't look like actual fog in a game. There's no density to it. There's nothing dynamic about it. It literally looks like a layer in Photoshop that they laid over top of the lighting. It looks flat. It doesn't look three-dimensional. It doesn't look dynamic. It's just this flat fog layer on top of the lights. And you'll notice that later is that I don't think the fog looks very good, but the lighting looks fantastic. Now, as he moves... Oh, you know what? I'll actually take that one back. I'll take that one back. No, the fog is moving. The fog is moving and has density to it. Okay, no, I'll take that one back. The fog's not as bad as I thought. The fog in the decontamination room, it's that animation from the top that's really bad. Okay, the fog in this room is actually quite good. Okay, I'll take that one back. All right. Oh, okay. So now we're going to get to some of the movement and some of the animations. Now, keep in mind, anytime you do a remake, you're going to be fighting with faithfulness to how the game felt and wanting the game to feel better. Do you understand what I'm saying? I totally get that. I acknowledge that whenever you do a remake of a game this old, I mean, look at the difference. That's fantastic, right? I will give them full marks. They did a great job making it look significantly better than the original. That's never been my issue. It is undeniable. Anybody running with this idea that it doesn't look any better than the old game, they're barking up a tree just full of lies. That's not true. It looks way better than the original. However, anytime you're remaking a game, you are going to be constantly wrestling with the fact of, we need it to feel like the original, but we also want it to feel better. It's my contention in the stuff they're about to show us, there is a stiffness. Now, what I want you to watch how he pivots. He has like 4 stances: forward, left, right, and maybe like up or down. And when he comes in and out of those animations, it's almost like a robot. If you've ever seen like robotic hands move, it's like position 1, position 2, position 1, position 2. It doesn't look fluid. It doesn't look like there's a lack of like ragdoll realism. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look... I'm not trying to be persnickety, but it doesn't... And again, this is that tension. It needs to feel like the original, but it also needs to feel better. I feel like what we're seeing is the skeleton of the original game. Watch. See that? Do you see that rigid pivot that he did? And back. You see? And there's another rigid pivot. And... Wait for it. And back. Do you see? It's going just from two predetermined positions. There's no fluidity. Boom, and he stops. Do you know have you ever guys watched these Call of Duty hacker hunters and they say the crosshair just stops? It's just like boom. It's like, boom, and it stops. When he resets his position, there's no flow, there's no fluidity. It's just, boom, right back to position 1, right? Again, they want it to feel like the original, and that's probably what we're seeing, all right? That's a concern. Is it going to feel clunky? Is it going to feel stiff? Is there going to be a rigidity to it? Because it looks a little rigid. Now, that rigidity and that stiffness in the animations, I think, shows up here when he fights these guys outside. It looks kind of stiff. It doesn't look enjoyable. This doesn't look like a good exchange. And this is somebody that knows how to play the game. Again, lighting is spectacular. I love the lighting. There's just something really rigid and stiff about coming in and out of I don't know. And I don't think it's an FOV thing either. The camera controls just looked kind of stiff. And then here we go. And down. Do you see how he just remains static? Watch his character. Again, there's just I don't know. There's a total lack of fluidity here. This is just literally an axis camera change. His body does nothing. He doesn't move. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. People go, you're just being a hater. I really was looking forward to this game, but this to me looks like a very faithful remake for all consoles. This doesn't look or move like a next-gen $70 remake. And I know people are going to say, looks way better than the original. I can't wait to play it. I hope you love it. I hope fans of the game absolutely love this. I'm looking at this as somebody who I picked up the game for the first time ever with Dead Space 3 and played it with my friend, and I loved it, and we had a blast. And this looks very faithful, but it doesn't look top shelf. And when you charge me $70 and you go next gen only, I'm expecting top shelf. This doesn't look top shelf. That's the main issue I'm taking. I'm not being a hater. I think this is a good remake. A $70 next gen only remake needs to be excellent. It can't just be good. All right, let's keep watching here because I'm gonna have to put their audio on too. Gosh, the lighting is so good. It really is. These are going to be the best sections. These are going to be the best sections in my opinion. These areas with the dark and the flashing and the inability to see, like that right there. When he comes around and the sparks hit and the light comes and goes, I think this is their best work, is the lighting. Did you see how the sparks hit the ground and had their own light source? You see that? Look at that. That's great. That is... See what I'm saying? The lighting is so good. I expect that in a game like this. Those sparks are their each individual own light source. That's good work. That's top shelf. That's excellent. That feels awesome. That feels immersive. Hard to see. Flashing lights and sparks, with their own light source. Even his guns as a light source. I just think, oh, this is great. Horror, spooky, edge of your seat. The strobe-like effect from the gun. This right here is chef's kiss. This is fantastic. I can't see anything. Oh, see what I'm saying? That's very good. I would say the lighting's top shelf. Yeah. Yeah, the lighting is the most impressive part of everything in here. Trying to gain approval of a change by saying you won't know what vent they come from. We shot all the vents out when we played Dead Space. That's not scary. Also, cussing was very unnecessary. Yeah, I felt like the F-bombs were totally unneeded. Here again, I think, is a wonderful showcase. There are people out there being pretty nasty and saying it doesn't look any better than the original. Okay, those people are dumb. Don't listen to them. I think a lot of people saw my short and they thought that I was one of those people. I do not think that. I think this game is hugely better than the first game. There's a chasm of difference between the first game and this game. Anybody sort of driving that narrative, I agree. That's just being a hater. So I give the game full marks as looking fantastic when compared to the original. It really does. Like these side by sides, I mean, that's stellar. Just the illumination difference. Watch. Again, this goes to the credit to the lighting team. The lighting team did such a good job. See the illumination of the area, and then let me get it to go away. Look at that. I think that's awesome. I think that adds such a good immersion point for the combat. Here again, lighting team crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Yeah. I don't have any complaints in these areas. This is where the game, I think, feels so close to what I was hoping to see. It does. That was a little comical almost. He's like, "Oh, let me buy." Mm-hmm. I think the limb animations look really good there. Previously, we broke down the animations, and I said they didn't look that great. That is a little bit better. It still has a... Yeah, the blood, anytime they're doing like blood, sludge, or guts, like almost like liquid, I think the liquid's really bad. All the pieces having their own trajectory looks excellent, but the blood looks really low quality and sharp. All the blood has like almost like a sharp edge to it, but the individual trajectories of the body parts and stuff looks good. I think it adds that layer of each fight might look a little bit different as you chop their legs, heads, arms off. The 2D sprites. Yeah, I absolutely loved how that guy tried to educate me on what a sprite was, and he Googles sprite, and literally in the Google search on his video, you see a flat lightning sprite, which is literally what it looks like when like the electricity effect, I guess it's called stasis, and he made fun of me for not knowing that. He literally tries to educate me on what a sprite is. I'm like, okay, been playing games since Wolf 3D, young buck. I know what a sprite is, but go ahead and Google search it, and then the lightning flat 2D sprites are in the search results of his attempt to educate me. Again, even in this scene right here, the best part of this is the way the lighting is dispersed. Like, it's almost too bright on his shoulder, and I don't mean they made a mistake. You know when there's like a light that's really bright and it like washes somebody out for a photo? Like that looks really well done. Like that light dispersal looks realistic. That's well done. That's good work. Lighting team is bringing home the bacon for this remake. He low-key needed to remind himself. Yeah, I used too many big words for him. He just kept calling me an idiot. Here's my concern, says Fuzzy. Oh, this is a great part. This is a really good part. Like, he knows what's coming, and he's ready with the saw blade. Hits his legs off, hits his arms off. I want to slow that one down. Yeah, this blood looks a little bit better than the other one where he was like hitting him in the face. That actually looks more three-dimensional, and it's got like lighting on it, like lighting effects. It still has a stiffness to it. The body parts fly and don't have a stiffness, but the blood animations, there's just an awkwardness to it. And you don't catch a lot of it when you're playing because it's dark. You just don't catch a lot of it. Man, again, the lighting team is just stealing the show here. Yeah, that looks better. The one scene where like the blood was pouring out of his mouth, the blood looked absolutely flat. It didn't look three-dimensional. Okay. If you guys are just tuning in, we're breaking down the latest Dead Space gameplay. I think there's good and bad here. I think the lighting absolutely steals the show. I think there's low-resolution textures and clunky animations used. My main issue with that is this is supposed to be next-gen only and $70. Now, I'm not going to play the game sound a lot, but I want you guys to listen to this sound. I feel like there's a massive amount of noise pollution here, meaning there's so much sound happening, it creates an almost wave-like effect, and it doesn't sound crisp, and it doesn't sound good. They were talking about the audio in this scene, and I thought it truly sounded terrible. Listen.
Sequence activated. Please stand by.
In the decontamination room, using new tech, we've cranked up the tension.
I'm also going to take a look at those fog animations because they're real bad. Soundtrack is excellent, but the sound effects, there's something wrong. It sounds like fuzzy. It doesn't sound like rainwater or spraying water. It almost sounds like TV fuzz.
Dynamic smoke creates that thick and opaque atmosphere that makes you lose track of the lurkers, even when they're right next to you.
The enemies sound great. The enemies and the crunchy, gross sounds sound really crisp, but the environmental sounds, I don't know. It could be YouTube. It could be YouTube. There's something about it that it sounds noise pollution like Outriders, like there's too much sound happening at the same time.
It adds to the claustrophobia, the feeling of being locked in with a pack of necromorphs.
Okay, so I'm going to turn their sound off. Sadly, there's a lot of bad stuff in this sequence that I'm seeing for the first time. There's so many animations in this are just so ugly. It doesn't look good. Okay, first things first, that up there, I'm okay with looping animations. I'm okay. Like, this doesn't need to be like actual dynamic fog that like comes out and lands on the ground, but this is supposed to be affecting the stuff on the ground, and it just looks absolutely flat. The stuff on the ground looks fine. The fog on the ground looks totally fine. Now I want you to pay close attention to the water animations, right? Let's just watch the trailer. You come in here a lot and like bark orders at me. Maybe just go somewhere else. We already watched the trailer live without any interruption. Now we're breaking it down. So, go somewhere else if you don't like what I'm doing. So the animations on the water, it honestly looks... Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, you did a freeze frame. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot to thank this. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for not shouting this out. Brad's Bum gifted 5 memberships to the community. Lou Ryan, Joseph Lassiter, Cool Kurt, Pooger, and Silver Surfer. You guys all got gifted memberships and a $5 tip from Insomniac Black. Could have been intentional choice to use low-res liquids because it's dark. Maybe they figured no one would notice due to the lack of light. Yeah, Brad's Bum. Now, somebody's going to tell me, oh, you're doing a freeze frame. Of course it looks bad. Okay, just shut your face. That's not true. He looks fine. The thing over there looks fine. Look at the water. The water is literally a fuzzy, flat, two-dimensional... it doesn't look real. Like, look at the water animations. They're flat. It doesn't look good. Now, the distortion looks good. The water distortion. There's, like, streaks of water distortion. Because, like, look at his body right now. That actually looks really good. Now, watch. You're going to see he raises his gun at one point, and the light hits the water animation. Look at that. It's just, like, flashing. It's literally there, and then it's gone. It's there, and then it's gone. Watch. Water? No water. Water? No water. It doesn't look good. It doesn't. It looks so shaky. It's like as soon as he pulled his gun up, I was like, what the frick was that? It doesn't look like water. It looks flat. It almost looks like it's skipping. Like the water animations are like, like you just saw one right there when he was standing there. Watch. You see it? Just one single frame of water. Oh, you're freeze framing. Everything's going to look bad when you freeze frame. Really? You think a 60 FPS game should have water that literally flashes in and disappears? You think that's a good animation? Like, water's there, then it's gone. That's why it looks jittery. Like, look at the, yeah, it's almost like a strobe light effect. Look at the frame by frame on the monster. Watch. Frame by frame. Boom, boom, down he goes. One whole frame of water. Boom, 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 boom. That's great. That's good animation on the enemy. That's great. And then guess what? Another whole frame of water, and then it's gone. That's what I'm saying. Like, stop defending this. Like, stop defending low quality work. It looks bad. That looks bad. Seems like it's the lighting. Seems like it is the lighting. It's not the lighting, though. It's the water animation. Just pay attention to the water in this scene. It's so flashy flat. It doesn't look... I don't know. If this is meant to be some amazing show-off scene, I feel like the audio is cluttered and terrible. Did YouTube just have a dive? We just lost like 100 people. There's no way they were angry about the water. Somebody said they had a blip in chat. And again, anybody claiming that this doesn't look better than the original, they're dumb. This looks fantastic. It does. But it doesn't look like a next-gen remake. It doesn't. It looks like a cross-generational $60 remake. That's what it looks like. At least that's what it looks like to me. So this is to prove it's not worth 70. I'm not out to prove anything. I'm not out to prove anything. When I first watched the reveal trailer like a week ago, I was hoping to prove people wrong that were being, negative about it, right? I was hoping to prove them wrong. I was like, no, I actually think this is going to be really good. This is going to be really awesome. It's $70. It's next gen only, right? And then I watched the trailer and I was like, this doesn't look good at all. It looks really rough. It looks really bad. I'm not out to prove anything. Like I said before, I'm not putting this on the level of TLU 1 Remake, but this looks faithful enough to the original for me to be excited to play it. And all of that is completely justifiable, Sven. If you're excited about this, if you're a longtime fan and you're like, this looks good, I can't wait to play it, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you feeling that. Nothing. But I'm looking for $70 next-gen work, and I'm not seeing it. What about this had to be next-gen? Yeah, I don't know, Valiant. The only thing I could think, Valiant, is the reason this had to be next-gen only is they could not pull off the lighting on old gen, and that's a centerpiece of a lot of the work. That would be my guess. Think about it. Anytime they've done anything with lighting as of late, the cinematic lighting in Horizon Forbidden West and ray tracing, those things just can't be done on old gen. They've not given any specificity as to what they're doing with the lighting, but that would be my guess. Is the lighting changes they made are so baked into the crust of the remake that they just couldn't get it to work on old gen. That would be where I'd put all the blame. In a good way. I'm not blaming the lighting. I'm saying when you have lighting that looks as good as this compared to what you get from the original, I don't think you could play. I don't think you get it to play on the old gen consoles. How many times you can interact with water, though? That's probably like 1 or 2 or 3 times. It's a nitpick, in my opinion. It's not a nitpick if it literally is a flat 2D bad animation, homie. They literally highlighted that scene as a scene that was supposed to show off dynamic fog and excellent sound design. And the fog animation on the ceiling looked bad, and the water animation looked bad. Look, again, here we go. Really bad animations. Watch the fog animation coming off the thing in the center. It's literally a 2D flat strobing animation. Watch the fog right here, right over his shoulder. Watch. Oh, they cut it. Hang on. Look at the fog animations. Are you seeing it? It literally looks like it's sputter. It looks like the game is sputtering and skipping. I can't be the only one that sees that. I'm not losing my mind here, okay? Look at that. Look at it. It honestly looks like a glitch. And let me defend my quote unquote nitpicking. When someone tells you it's a next gen only remake for $70, you should nitpick it. You should. I think that you should do that. There's nothing wrong with nitpicking something. If this was a $40, $50, or $60 cross-gen remake, you would have every right to be like, bro, you're kind of nitpicking. Hey, somebody else ordered some coffee. 2 bags of light roast for Kale. Thank you, Kale. For whatever reason, Purple sent me a payment of like $86, and they just emailed me. Summary of your program payment. We have successfully sent your payment on October the 12th. This was the payout. You selected PayPal. Please note that depending on your payment method, different processing times allow. Thank you for streaming on Purple, the Purple team. $86. It's literally, it just hit PayPal. That's not what it is. What? Madam looked at my shirt and asked if she could play my controller. Settle down. Balancing the spreadsheet? 2.5 years later? What the frick? That's enough for a Lego set. Save and screenshot that? I mean, it's in my email. It's in my PayPal. No, the channel, I don't think so. No, the channel's still gone. That would have been pretty big news. Yeah, that's no. They just lowered their payout criteria. I got one a few weeks ago. Oh, so there must have that's what it is, Valiant. There must have been like residual money left over that was under the $100. Yeah. That's what it is. That makes sense. No, that makes sense. They just lowered the payout threshold. So they were like, oh, there's like $86 in ad revenue or whatever. Because more than likely there was probably something left over. Like when you do what they did, it's not going to be a clean break. There was probably ad revenue from that last day. That very final day was probably it's probably $86 in ad revenue, and it was just sitting on the channel, and we're not going to pay you because it's underneath the $100 threshold, and the new threshold is like $50. Like when I saw the email this morning, I actually was worried. I was like, oh great, let me check Twitter. Because that would have been, everybody would have lost their dadgum minds. If you guys are just tuning in, we're breaking down the latest Dead Space gameplay. We did not time this out properly. I have a thumbnail and I have a description, creature. I wonder if we should just gap fill with Scorn. We can't ride this for an hour and a half. There's no frickin' way. I thought the stream was going to be a little bit longer. We need like another hour to another hour and a half out of this, and we're not going to get it. I don't think so. Last time we were able to ride the gameplay for a while. Like, people were really interested. They were coming in. They were debating me. It was a really, really good time. Is Scorn tonight? We were going to do Scorn tonight with Madam. And we were going to do it as a public stream before members only. I think maybe we should just do it now. There's just no way. That might pull really strong right now, you know, if we got this many people coming with us. We can make some stuff up. What do you mean? I can't do that right now for the next hour and a half. Like, I have fun breaking down trailers, but I feel like I'm just repeating myself. I just keep pointing out the same things. Like, there's just real jerky animations. There's low res textures. There's low res like fog animations. Like, there's just stuff that doesn't look very good. Gameplay looks mediocre. I think the gameplay looks it's a mixed bag. I think they absolutely, what's good, Lufi? I think they absolutely nailed the lighting, right? I think they nailed the lighting in this. It looks very, very good. We can do Scorn, watch some trailers. I mean, we don't need to watch trailers. I got Scorn installed and ready to go on my Xbox. I think we should probably just do that. I made the thumbnail and everything this morning, and I wasn't even thinking I would need it. I was doing it for tonight so I wouldn't have to make it. The only problem with gameplay is a lot of y'all leave when I do gameplay because I'm not talking, and we've been trying to have better starts for the roundtable, so I don't want to drive the core audience away by shifting the gameplay. But at the same time, I also can't sit here and break down this trailer for another hour and a half. I love that you give your honest opinion on it and then don't talk down to other people who really want to get it. That's what I kept trying to do in the comments on my short, James. There were so many people that were really, really angry about my short, and I was like, look, man, I hope you really like it. I was super looking forward to this, and I was praising it. That actually looked really good. I was praising it in the intro to the last Dead Space gameplay coverage that we did. I was like defending it before we even watched the trailer, and then the trailer kind of let me down. Yo, my man Eknor coming in with a big tip. It's a shame that Callisto Protocol looks way better than this, and the priority of this game was only graphics and animations. Yo, thank you for that tip, my friend. Guys, be sure to let me know as well if you order anything from the Amazon wishlist. We want to shout you out. Somebody did today, and they didn't claim it. They ordered the Lego Scout Trooper. We're sort of kickstarting a Lego channel, and there's like Legos on the Amazon wishlist. So somebody needs to take credit for that, and then anybody else that does this, make sure and take credit. Okay, so I want to show the frame by frame here, right? Yo, my man James jumping in as a brand new member. Enjoy the members only content this evening. My wife and I will be streaming tonight for members. We'll be streaming spooky games for October. And you get members only content every day of the week, and also you get into the members only Discord. 1 mil dono. Oh, I wish that was a mil dono. Eknor is really generous, but that is not a mil. Okay, watch this. Watch this. This looked good to me. Hang on. Come on. Where's the frame where he peels some of the flesh off? I actually think this monster looks better than... Dadgummit. First-time chatter, long-time listener from Spotify. Love your debate topics, and I love your coverage on games. Can't wait to try and order some light roast. Thank you for all your content. Yo, thank you so much for coming from Spotify. I greatly appreciate that. Scorn's a very quiet game. You'll have to conversate throughout it. You want to keep the audience engaged. I'm on Act 2, and there's been very little action. Well, that might actually be good gameplay. Yeah, I thought this looked good, and now I don't. It's just an immediate frame change. Like, he shoots him, there's no animation. It's just all of a sudden gone. I tried, chat. I tried to make it look good. Yo, my man Eknor gifting 5 more members. Docs the Fox, Spike Deagle, Jesse Kruger, Hawk and Rain, and Pete Anko. Guys, if you just got gifted a membership, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Pay it forward. Gift more members. Let's get a little gifted train going for all the faithful people who have stayed, even though the footage has gone long. I appreciate y'all sticking around. You actually was defending the game, so it's not like you started off hating it. Right, I thought I just saw something good, and look at that. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Yo, Captain Steve bringing his viewers over again. Thank you for the redirect, Captain Steve. Anybody coming over from Captain Steve, you do need to be a subscriber to talk in my chat. We are breaking down the brand new Dead Space gameplay. We already covered some new stuff last week, but this is Dead Space new gameplay today. And I'm going to give you the too long didn't read if you're just coming in. I think it looks like a good remake. It does not look like an excellent $70 next-gen only remake. When you put your game on the top shelf for $70 and you make it next-gen only, I expect excellence. And this right here, that animation is just one example of, I just think it's kind of not that impressive work. It's kind of shoddy. Like, why wouldn't you animate that? One of the hallmarks of Dead Space is shooting body parts off. You know, flesh peeling. Where's the animation there? There is no animation. It just disappears. It looks cool after the fact. Like, it looks good. That looks good. And then that shot doesn't really do anything. Just a bunch of blood comes flying out. If this does not have NDA, would you want a key? Yeah, if there's no NDA on it, I'd love to get a key and record footage for first look. What did Vargas say that sums it up so well? Scorn is part shooter, part walking simulator adventure game, but to me, the best aspect of Scorn is that it's not expensive and it's beautifully atmospheric. It's like a living Giger art. Yeah, I'm willing to pay $70 for Ragnarok. They just released a trailer last night about the fact that it's got 4K resolution, 3D audio, haptic feedback. Like, those are next-gen features. Nightingale had an NDA? Huh. I think Nightingale has potential. The logistics alone, not impressed. No, I'm not impressed. I'm not. Okay, give me 1 second here. I'm going to let it loop. Watch it. We'll break it down a little bit more. Okay, thank you, Paul. What code platform is that for, Paul? Oh, Steam. Okay. A new TLU Part 1 was worth 70 when streamers who got a free code kept making offhand comments about how the quality of the graphics. It's on their FAQ. Yes, you can stream the closed beta. Huh. Warhammer 40k Darktide. Maybe we should do that instead of Scorn. And save Scorn for tonight. I don't have anything typed up for Warhammer, and it would have to install. Yeah, Scorn's on Game Pass. Yeah. Yo, Super Gaming with 2 months. Should have called this a remaster at 40, not a remake for 70. My personal opinion, I think this remake will bomb. I mean, it's literally coming out a month after Callisto. Why would you make two games this similar? Well, I mean, different companies, different goals. Did they know that, you know, Callisto was going to do what it's doing? Hard to know. Hard to know. Tell you what I need to do, though. I need to go to the short, bashing on it, and add a card to this video. You'll need a controller. I must have another controller turned on somewhere. From what I've seen, a 6 out of 10 seems a fair score for this remake. It doesn't look terrible, but it's underwhelming and a bit disappointing. Camera settings, invert that, video, motion blur off. NVIDIA is launching a 4080. I didn't know it was going to go like right into it. Yeah, I've seen that, Raijin. I've seen that. Like with my issues with blood pressure and stuff, it might be kind of fun to do that. Like play a spooky game and, you know, set it up. Like when I just glance at it, and I don't get analytical, it looks great. Again, the lighting steals the show for me. The lighting absolutely steals the show for me. But the minute I start analyzing it and really looking at it, like this scene especially, I'm just like, ugh. That would be fine if it was like a $60 cross-gen remake, but buddy, when you're asking for 70 and it's next gen only, I don't expect to see that kind of stuff. You know? I just don't. I expect it to be quite a bit different. That's the difference with me. I'm not looking closely at the sprites and stuff. To me, it just looks awesome. You can totally revisit RE7 and get the spooks. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Will you be picking up this game to showcase? Oh, yeah. I'll be picking up this game, and I'll be picking up Gotham Knights. we've gotten a lot of hate for my coverage of both of those games, and I have no problem covering them, playing them, and I told this guy, I said, I'll be the first to admit it if Gotham Knights is really, really good. I was like, I don't think it's gonna be, but I'll be the first to admit it if it is. I will be the first person to be like, oh, this game's amazing. I was so wrong. I have severe doubts that's going to happen. Honestly, it looks better than Elden Ring. It's a weird comparison. This also as a showcase, we didn't get treated very well. Like we usually, when we cover gameplay, we're riding high on search, and they kind of screwed us. We got no treatment today. I don't know what happened. I checked all of my stuff. I made sure everything was right. Unless I copied the wrong tags or something, that'd be the only thing I might have. I've done that before and messed that up. And then YouTube's like, you used the wrong tags, and then they don't put us in search. That's the only thing I didn't double check. I double checked my title. I double checked everything. I don't know. The last time we covered this, we just got golden treatment, and today we didn't. And that kind of affects the momentum. People saw the first trailer. Yeah, maybe. I mean, did their stream not do that well? I mean, that's always possible. I'm actually paranoid now. I'm going to check my tags. I'm checking my tags to make sure I didn't jack it up. No, yeah, I've got the right stuff in here. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you scared off people who want to be optimistic. I mean, I was pretty harsh, but that wouldn't affect YouTube and search results. Does that make sense? Like, YouTube and search results is a thing that YouTube does. That's not a thing people do. So I don't know. Okay. All right, we're switching to gameplay. I'm hitting the Discord with stuff. All right, I'm going to put links in chat. Guys, redirect sometimes doesn't work. If redirect doesn't work for you, use the links in chat. We're going to do this for like an hour and 15. We'll check out what Scorn's like. It'll be a good little VOD for the channel, good little past broadcast, and then we'll get into the Reforge Roundtable. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. We are going to be diving into Scorn gameplay live. This is an Xbox Game Pass game. That is where I am playing it. Very excited to check out Scorn gameplay with you. If you like this, be sure to check out my other broadcasts here on Reforge Gaming. We do a live interactive talk show Monday through Friday. I'm actually going to be ending a talk show in a breakdown of the Dead Space stream. There was brand new gameplay and we checked it out. So if you're in that stream, I'm going to be ending it and bringing you over. If you don't want to ride the redirect, just use the links that I spammed in chat. Click those links to come over to the new stream. If you're watching this Scorn gameplay as a past broadcast, make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my broadcasts and my talk shows. We really appreciate all of